How's it going, guys? It's Mr. Lone Wolf, and today I've done the last few missions that I finally built, fixed whatever that river lock, so it drops the drawbridge thing, and I can get across to the second island. I just thought I'd leave this bit of footage in while I was kind of introducing what I'm doing in the video today. This, what's it called, Bowhead. I drove it from where I was trying to like mess around and cross the river the other day. Drove it kind of through this deep swampy section. That's the original road I built when you start the Sojourn map. And yeah, I just thought I'd leave it in because the bulldozer thing, Bowhead, whatever it is, does alright across there. I had to drive some things up to here because I've gone on a little adventure with my Loaf. I didn't want to bring it back just to recall everything. So I just drove everything up to this, restore the road to the concrete plant. It's pretty simple, to be honest. I probably wouldn't have minded if they just left this bit in because when I drove that EPEC digger thing with a crane and everything on it, it started dropping the hammer through that sand. It was quite a nice little test patch, but I assume there is other patches on here that are similar, so yeah, not the end of the world. Set these off. I just kept an eye really on the paver just to make sure that doesn't try and be sneaky again and stop laying a road. This thing's set off quite a bit quicker than all the rest of them. But yeah, pretty standard issue. Getting the AI to do it all. I got them all in a nice, pretty even line at the minute though. I was quite happy with that. I think something around here was going to be the thumbnail. Finally got some goddamn professionals driving these things instead of whatever part-timers they give me normally. To be fair, well, I was going to say these aren't too bad. I've had dozers roll and yeah, the paver sometimes decides it's not going to pave. And this is part of like restoring the concrete plant. I've had to go there and inspect it. Somehow Kelly thinks the concrete plant's in good condition, but I'm not particularly sure I agree. Yeah, build this road for whatever reason. Other than the fact it'd been nice to keep the little sand patch road going, but to be honest, it wasn't even really like a difficult stretch of road to conquer in the first place. However, I suppose actually I would say, because once you do this mission, you unlock an AI route where you have to drive cement trucks down to, there's two buildings near the river lock. We've had to deliver some other AI stuff there. And yeah, that's what it's going to want us to do soon. So it does actually help drawing a line through there. Otherwise, you'd have to clear like the other route out of the concrete plant out. This one, bring the transformer to the main power substation. So it appears at that construction depot next to, yeah, the construction depot where you can buy and sell stuff. And got to take it to the north of the island, the substation. Get the old mule out for this one. I cut ahead a bit because it wasn't too bad of a drive, but not the most eventful. Yeah, this thing, and I moved one of these the other week on Incommunicado, and I think on the live stream I did it at some point with the Voron, and that ended up tipping. And I think I ended up throwing it in the Bowhead actually, and taking it, but the mule, I think it did better, and I actually think, like, I suppose then comparatively speaking, the mule doesn't tip as easily as the Voron seemed to. To be fair, the mule doesn't, I wouldn't say it's like especially brutal at tipping anyway. It's actually been a pretty fair, reasonable vehicle as far as that goes. It's just, again, yeah, the gears, endless gears. Get it strapped down. It does look pretty big there in the back, that's what she said. Yeah, obviously sits a lot taller than most of the cargo I've had to deliver so far. Kind of looking forward to a few more options of... I've unlocked that EPEC thing that's got like the crane and the sideboard. There's certainly places I'll use that and all the rest of it. Again though, sort of slightly lacking top speed. To be fair, if the mule got going to this speed quickly and more consistently, like look, now I blipped the throttle off for like a quarter of a second as I was going over that ridge. That was like when I was laying the cable. How much that mule, I only said dolphin again, sort of slowed down and waited to get back in gear to get going, that was just because of, yeah, a quarter of a second of blipping the throttle. So if anything, if they're trying to sort of make us slow down and be more, I don't know, normal about it, it's like, it puts you off wanting to even do something like blip the throttle. That just makes me think, well, I'll keep it pinned forever, no matter what. Yeah, I was keeping an eye on the tyres there. I've got a feeling the rear tyre in particular is spinning quicker than it's travelling across the terrain or whatever, so I think that's partly what's bleeding the speed sometimes. I've got a feeling there's a bit of footage later that'll help. That they might have done like they did in Snowrun and coded sections to automatically just have like a speed cap, even if your vehicle is theoretically good enough to go above that. I started having it wouldn't, down on my D-pad wouldn't work again, so I saved the footage, whacked the remote on the table, percussive maintenance, saved the day. Yeah, got that put there, Kelly popped up, just cut that out, she was yapping on about the next mission and all the rest of it. Yeah, main power substation, it wants the power connected up. I just drew two, the reason I put flags in the corners of it is, when you drive this vehicle, the radius of the electricity doesn't show up until you actually activate the cable laying bit, so if you put a flag down like that, you just know exactly like right at the edge where to start. A little, not the best mission design. Obviously, I'm at the edge. I'm over to the left so I don't completely dig the road up. That stupid little fence that a bumblebee should be able to fly into and knock it over. Yeah, propped up like this big bucket thing on the back, so I had to just move forward. In the end, it didn't matter because my cable had kind of, I don't know, laid a little bit so I could go a bit forward. And then yeah, the long drive over here, I cut ahead. And then again, even driving into the circle, I'll admit, that's half on me because I was looking at the back of the truck. But driving a big long truck in there, you could make a little bit more room. Yeah, for whatever reason, I must have been like a millimetre off because as soon as I adjusted the vehicle, it didn't even let me re-drop the scoop thing into the ground. So concrete plant, bringing it back from the brink of destruction somehow. So now I'm going to have the concrete vehicles I've got to deliver. Finally, I was like, yes, you little bastard. I've been trying to complete God knows how many missions. So she's basically saying, like, you've unlocked missions over there, go and complete, well, I should say actually, you have unlocked it, but you just got to run these AI routes there first. So it's from this building in the concrete plant. What is there, 580 per truck, 1200, 2900. What's that, 5 vehicles? After, I assume. Yeah, I think it's after you've got the ones there that are supposed to get there. The reason I left that bit in, I'm just drawing a line there, but as I was drawing that line across my new road, it said saving, and I'll explain. It's not a bad thing, but that's just, you'll see in a sec why I mentioned that. Yeah, these are the cement trucks. I don't know if we ever get a chance to drive one or not. I don't know if there'll ever be an option to pour cement out of it. Yeah, I don't know, but it wouldn't surprise me with the kind of stuff they've been doing in this game and all the rest of it. If it ain't now, it's a possibility they'll add it in the future. Maybe we could pour, like, you know, instead of just tarmac roads and all that, you could actually pour some concrete or whatever, but not the end of the world. Quick interior view. They're like Scania trucks, they're all over the place over here in the UK. I was just wondering why it took me back over to that. It's because I got out of the vehicle. Yeah, there's 4 in total, but again, pretty simple route, so I went off and made a coffee at this point. Let them all drive their AI route. And yeah, when you get 4th on there, river lock, and it builds this back up, I admit, well, not a shoddy job, but it's not in line with everything. And then that river lock thing starts dropping, and I was like, bollocks, I went off for an adventure with a Loaf. And yeah, I wanted him sat on the river bridge thing when it drops. So that was where I quit and reloaded. And then you see in me Loaf, like, shall I go that way or this way? This is how it feels to drive a Loaf. Just kept going till I couldn't go anymore. Right in the background is the resort where I was driving the Hummer around yesterday. But yeah, eventually got to the port at the south. And now, that was like earlier before I sort of started tonight's missions, but yeah, I had to go and grab the Loaf, driving him down. Before I got to the river lock, I thought, right, I'll plan ahead, you see. I'll send the concrete trucks, because basically when I quit and reloaded, that's why I said it saved, it just started me mid drawing the AI route again, so it really did save, and just absolutely like that second is where it started again. So I set the cement trucks off to get that river lock, the same mission you just seen. But then I realised when I was here, I want to do something, so I used the Loaf as a roadblock to block those, because another part of the cutscene was it builds that like broken wall up, so I wanted to go and test something. I just found the nearest scout I had, really. The Don 72 Malamute was the offering for this one. It actually drove up there pretty bloody well. I was quite happy with that. I was almost tempted to hit it in reverse and go over my bridge, but I was like, no, stick to one of the lanes that I've already veered off on. Yeah, I wanted to plant it here. Obviously, it's like not completely I don't know, rendered like all the different bumps or whatever. There's like an invisible wall down there. But yeah, jump the Don Malamute thing in there. The Loaf did block. You can see in the top left route failed. All the cement trucks hit the Loaf. Because then now, once I've got the Loaf here, I can just reactivate the missions, and they're only just down the road from where they got to go, instead of like turning them on now and then got to wait 5 minutes for them to get back there. So we park the Loaf back up on the bridge, yeah, and there's them getting reactivated. So even I think that thing's rear tyre was just wheel spinning them. So there's me Loaf on the bridge, and then if you look sort of over to the left, where that broken wall is in the background, when I pan back, you'll see the Don Malamute thing just down there in the middle of the gigantic missing wall. Wait for all these to get here. The first time they actually just went in, but that time they're all overtaking each other and all sorts. Yeah, so it actually left the Don Malamute there. It's probably of nothing, no significance. Also saw the goddamn professional riding the Riverlock down. Riverlock, taming the waters, open new pass ahead. I didn't read the second bit.
You know, maybe I was a bit too optimistic when I promised more exciting things. Still, they are
she's been promising.
so they can't be all that bad.
Yeah, some new missions. Like I say, in the meantime, I wasn't sure if it was going to glitch or anything.
So you'll have to drive a tanker there.
There's a new harbour base on the other side. See those 3 dots, the 2 that are close to each other? One of them is a harbour base, the other 2's like a scenic route. She's saying take the scenic route, and it's like, listen, Kelly, my Loaf has already been on the scenic route. Look at him, goddamn professional. He scanned that coastline, and then yeah, that was the port that I kind of stopped at, and then I recovered him to sit on the drawbridge, as you do. Kelly ain't lock blocking him again. Yeah, there's my... Oh no, I went there. Firstly, I thought, just in case I get conned out of anything, the Loaf is officially driving over this bridge. Then I wanted to stop it here, because I was curious to see, like, will it move the Malamute? Will it delete it? Will the game start freaking out and flicking it all over the map? Gotta know these things for science. He's a scientific Loaf. Yeah, the Don Malamute just kind of sits in here. There's bars kind of going through my vehicle and all sorts. I got distracted. I was like, oh, I recognise those interiors from back in the day. Yeah, from inside you can see out, but outside you can't see in. So there's a stealth Don Malamute. Loaf trained, you see. Loaf found out how to hide in sand. Back on Precipice or Aftermath, one of them. I was driving, I probably could go faster. I was very light on the throttle there. For whatever reason, I don't know why, I'm leaving it in there for a little bit. That's what she said. At some point I'll get it out, but when I load it up tomorrow or whatever, we'll see if it's still there and still in one piece. I got to level 13 as well, so I unlocked this thing, the EPEC LT200. I know it's probably EPEC, but I'm not saying that every time. We'll call it the EPEC. Yeah, I unlocked like a dumper truck version. You see, that's how fast it's going, but when I go down this sand track, I admit this bit is downhill, but the same thing happened with that flat road. It definitely gains some speed, and then when you get here again, it's definitely slower than it was. And yeah, I think it's like either wheel spinning like that, or this certain terrain is programmed to make you have a maximum speed, whereas flying down that sand hill, maybe they didn't bother doing something like that because they just kind of figured that would naturally slow you down anyway. I don't know if that's true, it's just my suspicions. I think there's some similar things like that going on in SnowRunner. It seems alright though. The only thing is it's only 5 tons, so I dumped a load, couldn't refill because I wasn't within range of a sand quarry, so I figured now's the good time really to test setting this thing up, because last time I did set it up I was still within the range of a quarry radius, so I just wanted to check this will work. It's got quite nice, decent speed on this thing. And I believe the rule is you got to deploy it in sand, so even though the front of the truck's now on the looks like brick road or whatever, but yeah, it lets me unfold this. Whoever owns that house, he just got hit by a conveyor belt. Now I can have a roof full of sand. But yeah, fold it out. Things ticking along nicely. Why? Gotta get that look like it's flying with wings. Switch back to this thing. Good news is it does refill very quickly because it's only 5 tons. Also dumps pretty rapidly. And then back. So yeah, I wouldn't say if you got like a massive gigantic patch that you're gonna do, I'd take that Bicycle or something that's got 40 tons. That's 8 times more than this thing. But if you don't necessarily need like a fat chunk like that, you've got little sections you fix and whatever. Yeah, it's a start. I think it'd have been better probably if it was 10 tons of sand in the back, but whatever, it's still another vehicle to mess around with, so that'll do. I'll reverse on this little pile I've made. Look inside, nothing but health and safety stickers. gone mad. No one has ever been ran over by a vehicle ever. Fact. Yeah, this was the radius of the sand quarry, which I actually think is pretty respectable, because I've drove down there. I could still just access sand in my base. It's not quite reached the other side of the island, but again, I'm not also like propped up against this side of the island. So yeah, overall I think that's pretty decent. It'll come in handy here and there, assuming I do need to test at some point, going on like Incommunicado or whatever, and making sure it can be deployed in mud and you don't have to specifically find like a sandy area. Yeah, establish the next operating base at the harbour, and then the other two, like I say, was the Kelly saying taking a scenic route south, which again, my Loaf is already pretty done, but I'll go south from that side of the island, where just after I cross the river bridge lock thing, whatever it is. And then this, yeah, I think when you deactivate it, it just folds up as normal, drive off, so pretty good stuff. I quite like this vehicle. I've not had a major chance to use it yet, but people have said even the AI vehicles can run out of sand when you're building roads. The road I built earlier was within the range of a quarry. I don't know why I can't bloody speak tonight, but yeah, I'm sure it's going to come in handy sooner or later. And also, because I got to level, I think it might have been 13, unlocked Aramatsu Kite 3, so it's like a massive stump mulcher. So I thought I'll give it a quick go. I went over to Incommunicado. Those, my flying concrete, there was 7, but there's now only 3 there. For some reason, 4 have dropped. I'll get to it. I was not going to put this footage in, but while I was cutting this bit, I thought, well, can't really mention them and then not show you what I'm doing. This thing actually drops a hammer. Not bad for a stump mulcher. It's definitely a lot quicker than the other one. As for stumps, it's not the end of the world. I didn't realise at first, but you can raise and lower the stump thing. But as you can see there, just the height that it deployed it with. I drove over that tree stump before it had finished chewing it. So obviously at the time I was thinking, oh, that's a bit like awkward, because it's just better if you just smash into a tree and it holds you there until it's finished chewing it up. But yeah, now I know you could raise and lower the boom arm mulcher thing. I'd just drop it down a bit and then you'll definitely hit every tree. You can see some like that, it was about to climb over it. Bigger tree stumps like this it just bops into, and yeah, it won't move until it's finished chewing the tree up. But overall, pretty good. 2-second processing rate, I think it said, so yeah, clear like a big patch. This was just one. What did I get? Oh, I chopped some of these logs. Funnily enough, I grabbed the tree and was trying to poke the bloody concrete slabs that are in the air. Yeah, that's why I trimmed those ones. A little bit of horn action, yeah, and it was when I was turning off the mulcher or whatever, it brought up the arm vertical thing, and you can lift it up and down, so for the most part that shouldn't be an issue driving over stumps. Looks pretty cool. Looks like, I don't know, something Jeepers Creepers would drive. It's ended up not really being early, but I was planning on doing an earlier video tonight because the guy's supposed to be coming around later to put me new internet in that's 400 megabytes or whatever, megabits, whatever the hell it is. Yeah, and I don't know what they're like. We'll be around between 8 AM and 6 PM, like yay. Right, well, I didn't sleep all of that, but I'd like to try and get sleep a bit earlier, just have a few hours, and then I'll have to wait up for them. I don't know if it's going to be first thing. I should have a video tomorrow, but worst case, between faffing around with all that, it might delay me. Yeah, so I tried to reach up with a crane to get my concrete. Like I said, 4 of them have fell down. For whatever reason, even though I'd argue I was pretty close, it wouldn't allow. I could switch through the cargo, but it wouldn't switch to the cargo in the air. So attempt number 1, I brought another crane because I kind of had a plan to double my crane height. It was a good effort. Yeah, lift that crane up while it's already got the crane extended. And I was definitely pretty close. The problem is, well, first off, sorry, I spanned the crane round because then it was just extra reach. I'm not reaching over the cab. And I can move this round a bit. Well, the one anchor that I could do with being quite firm is like in a little dip, so it's a little bit sketchy. But yeah, when you switch to that crane, it just instantly cuts the fact you've lifted it, which I think it shouldn't really. They should probably just let it like hold a vehicle even if you're in it. It fell. I went to lift it again, but the way the winch things work, it attached to it upside down, so I lifted it out upside down. I basically just recovered it in the end. Yeah, trying to lift it as high as I can. The crane's at its limits really, when you have to pull the other crane nearer to you to start getting it to lift. But as you can see, I'm pretty damn close to the flying cargo by now, so it certainly should be able to reach. and I figured, I know it was doubtful because it drops vehicles, but I thought I'll see if I can lift the Land Rover, switch to that my red crane, lift this crane with a Land Rover near it, and then jump in the Land Rover and fire a winch to the cargo. But as soon as I change vehicle, it just drops the Land Rover, so there's no luck as far as that goes. I give it another go with lifting my crane in the air. Again, look, I'm way closer. Like, it can reach cargo on the floor, so it could definitely, in theory, reach that, but it just won't offer me the chance to grab the cargo that's above my head. So we'll leave that for a future thing. There is other cranes to unlock for me in the future, so you never know. It's not over yet. If not, I'll have to send the goddamn professional in. You know, he'll figure a way out. Yeah, drop the crane. Like I say, for whatever reason, there's 4 bits of cargo that dropped. Anyway, that's about it for today. I hope you enjoyed. I hope that helps. Thanks for watching. Get yourself a goddamn professional. And listen to the Cranberries, and I'll be back soon.